Okay, we're going to take a look at how intact data will interact with SimplyComp. So coming into Salesforce, we're going to focus mostly in the report section. Basically, the way SimplyComp ingests data from Salesforce is via the reporting APIs. And so, technically it doesn't really matter how that data was generated in Salesforce as long as you can report on it. So if we come to our reports here, we can see we have an intact report. And so obviously within intact, sales orders are created and kind of that whole process is gone. But then at some point, that data is able to be replicated in a Salesforce report. And that's really the starting point for what SimplyComp cares about from a data perspective. And so just looking at kind of a standard report that might come from intact is, you see here, we have 52 records, all these columns. You can obviously filter it however, a typical, you would filter a Salesforce report typically. So once we have this report, obviously we save this. In this case, we have just intact report here. And so from there, once we have the report, it's all filtered correctly, has all the right data that we want to calculate commissions on. We'll go to the SimplyComp tab in Salesforce. So this is a package that SimplyComp installs, and basically this just lets you single sign on into SimplyComp from Salesforce right here. So click sign in, uses Salesforce credentials to auth into SimplyComp. Here's kind of a landing page on SimplyComp, and so we're going to go to the data section. And within SimplyComp, so we have our different data tables. So kind of our core data we call compensable events, meaning any type of event, whether or sales order, opportunity, anything that's going to get commissioned on. And so you can see here, one of our data tables, we have intact data. And so we want to import that data from Salesforce. So we select the import from Salesforce option. In this case, we have one report we can import. It's our intact report. Usually there'd be a bunch of different reports here. So basically every report that you have access to in Salesforce that is just kind of a regular tabular report will be here as an option to import. And so in this case, we're going to take that intact report we created. We're going to choose our add new updated existing data. Some of the data is already in there. And we have our intact mapping. And when we say mapping, just kind of take a look at what we mean here. And so this really just gives us a preview of the report we're importing. And so we have kind of all the different columns from Salesforce here, and we can name them, whatever we want. For instance, our sales order owner is just going to our standard owner field. We have a customer name field, and all of this is completely custom. So, no matter what columns you have in your Salesforce report from intact data, we can ingest that data, obviously with whatever data type it is. Just because we said edit, we'll come back here and select item. All right, so this data all looks good. Everything's going to the right places. We come in, we import that into SimplyComp. We'll give us a quick preview. And not too many rows, so it won't take too long. And so now we can view that data. Let's just look here. So let's go to the right period. All right, so we were looking at 2019 data. As we come here, we see example of all our data, all makes sense. All right, we can take a quick look. We can edit data in here if we need to, but in general, looks good, the data's in there. So next step within SimplyComp, so we'll calculate this. In this case, we've already calculated, so it's not going to go through the process, but we would come here and just click calculate. And then once that's done, in order to get data back into Salesforce, so it's, everything's in one place, you come click this sync results to Salesforce button. And what that's going to do is push things back into Salesforce into an object that we create. So if we come back into Salesforce here, And we go to reports. We have kind of a standard report here that's set up. So if we look at that now, so we've calculated on all the data that we imported from Intacct, that was in Salesforce. Then we've calculated on that based on all the different commission rules, everything that's set up in SimplyComp. And when we come back in here, now we can see all of that commissions data here. So in this case, we have Alan Martinez. He's got paid on a few different rules, new business, a quarterly achievement bonus. So you can see the rule name, see all the data, customer name, whatever data you import will be available to select here. And then all of the commission data, like payment, if they have, we call hold and releases, what the payment rate is, etc. And so now the Intacct data is in Salesforce, the commissions data is in Salesforce, and it merges itself very well together. And that's about it. So thank you for the time.